welcome back to another episode of Agents Confidential. I'm Yana, and I have Jameson Keller back on the podcast. And today we're going to be talking about ancillary products. So really excited. Jameson, for those of us who don't know, tell us a little bit about your role in the ancillary world.
Absolutely. And it's nice to be here, Yana. I appreciate coming back and having an opportunity to be on the podcast with you.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, my name is Jameson Keller. I am the Chief Commercial Officer for NCD. We are an ancillary health supplemental benefit program manager. So we currently offer dental, vision, and accident medical expense products in both the under 65 and over 65 world to individuals. And we have more stuff coming for the senior market here the end of this year. So stay tuned on that. I have over 21 years in the business, with most of my experience being in the Medicare side of the house. And I've been with NCD for about the last 5 years, driving ancillary benefits and helping agents to serve their clients.
Love it. I love that. Yeah, and I know that you've been in the industry for so long, and we may have touched on this too in the last episode, but maybe you have a different answer this time. But what are some of the bigger shifts that you've seen in the past 20 years that you've, like, from when you started in the industry versus like where we're at now?
Man,
I
I
know a
once
lot of
heard
them.
somebody at a conference say in Medicare, things change so often that you count your years in dog years. So I've been in the business now, 140 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, but things change a lot. When I first got into the business, there was brokers and there were employees that are selling business at insurance companies, and the two never shall cross. Now, the employees that sell don't really exist in most places, and it's captive agents and non-captive agents, and FMOs rule the world. It was just HMOs, and PFFS was a brand new thing in the Medicare space when back in the day when I started this thing, and the was less than, I want to say it was less than 23% penetration in the country, and we're up over 55% penetration for Medicare Advantage, with HMOs and PPOs being king, though now we're seeing PPOs dying over the last couple of years as well. It used to be that zero premiums didn't exist, and now zero premiums are kind of the king that everybody tries to keep. And then I did not see people selling ancillary business until, I don't know, 2012, 2013, when we started seeing that really come into play. And that was driven more by agents who started to get into the ACA, started seeing more of these ancillary sales or ancillary products. And then those were, a lot of those people that were selling ACA were cross-pollinating in the Medicare space as well. And so um, things have ebbed and flowed, and Medicare Advantage plans got extremely rich for a long time, where we saw tons of dental insurance included in Medicare Advantage benefits. We saw some markets like Las Vegas and Southern California where it was like zero cost, zero premium, zero cost to go to a doctor, $50 per admit in the hospital, transportation, house cleaning, meals. Aetna for a while was saying they would give away golf clubs, and people were selling golf clubs. I mean, it was ridiculous, some of the money that was being thrown around. And we're now into a period, and it's all cyclical. We've seen this before. We're now into a period where the government has public pressure and public scrutiny on the finances, and so a lot of things are being pulled back. The Medicare financing reimbursement rates came out a few months ago, and it showed that the amount that carriers are going to be getting is definitely less than medical cost trends, and even further less than felt medical cost trends by insurance carriers by quite a large margin. So we're expecting at best plans are going to hold flat, and most likely a lot of plans are going to be pulling back on benefits and increasing premiums. So, and as well as we see shrinking networks, we see HMOs becoming king again, and the primary focus. We're seeing tightening formularies and tightening networks. And so we're just back into a period now where, agents need to both sell based on core benefits, but also they're going to need to supplement plans through these phenomenal ancillary benefits that exist in the market, both to take care of the clients, but in some cases also to survive because of the commission cuts that have been happening for the past few years.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there's lots of fear surrounding, all of the commissions and where things are headed. And do you think that the concern for these agents is justified right now? And like for agents feeling all of that fear for commission loss and things like that, what would you say to them?
I would say it's a very real fear. And the longer you've been in the business, probably the less fear that you ultimately have, because you've seen it before. But it's a very real concern that agents have. Carriers are seeing more technology enabled sales. And so they're thinking, many carriers are probably thinking, we don't need agents to be able to get as many sales as we used to. It used to be less than 5% of Medicare beneficiaries would enroll in an electronic platform. Now, self-enrollment through an electronic platform is significantly higher than that. And most enrollments overall happen through an electronic platform. I don't know, too many carriers are offering paper applications anymore, if any. Um, and because of that, because of cost pressures overall, I mean, we're seeing carriers cut commissions at a rate like we've never seen before. We're seeing for the first time ever major carriers prorating first year commissions if the sale happened after January 1st. And so a real concern to have, but it is not a Chicken Little moment. This is not a time to say, oh my God, it's time to sell the book and get out. We're never going to survive. Agents are going away. Oh, what do we do? This is a time to think about the concept of what I did yesterday that made me successful is not going to be what makes me successful tomorrow. And I need to get out of my rut. I need to shift and I need to think differently. And one of those biggest things, if I can continue, one
Yeah,
of those
please
biggest
do. I love
things
that.
is people have not been salespeople in the Medicare business for a very long time. Um, I mean, I've been on stage all over the country talking about this recently. It's, how many agents say, I'm not a salesperson, I'm an educator. And I get it. You're trying to be like, look, I'm not one of those filthy life insurance salesmen stereotypes that exist out there. I'm not here to make a buck off of your back. I'm here to take care of you and be your trusted advisor. And maybe trusted advisor is the new term people should start pushing for instead of I'm an educator, because number one, we all sell. All right. If were a lot of agents that would sit down and say, I have these three plans, which one do you like? Well, that doesn't help the clients at all. And that's the wrong person to make the decision because they don't know what they're doing. All right.
Hmm.
You're supposed to be the expert. And because it has been, I'm going to say easy, and that's going to probably be a little bit controversial of a statement. But frankly, for a long time, selling Medicare, the hardest thing was getting the leads, not actually selling the product. If you
Totally.
sit down with a client, you were likely to sell them something. They were likely to sign up for something because everybody wants it and everybody needs it. But now, because benefits are going to be a little weaker, as well as because there are things that there are holes in the client's picture, and there always have been. All right, there are holes in the client's picture, and there are now holes in your income because of commissions reductions. You need to think about actually being a salesperson and getting people enrolled in these other products. And what I mean by being a salesperson is a salesperson's job is not to get somebody to sign up for something that they don't want. A salesperson's job is to identify the gaps in, specifically a health insurance salesperson, identify the financial gaps and risks in a client's overall insurance picture, and then propose solutions to lower and mitigate those risks. We all know that the two biggest gaps in a Medicare Advantage plan are hospital and cancer. If you end up in the hospital, you're paying $400+ per day for 1 through 5 days. And if you end up with cancer, you're probably paying 20% of that chemotherapy and radiation up till you're maxed out of pocket. And hopefully you get diagnosed with cancer in January, so you have a better chance of one maxed out of pocket instead of two.
Hmm.
But there are still agents that aren't having the conversation with every single Medicare Advantage client about a cancer plan or a hospital indemnity plan.
Right.
Or heck, a dental plan, because Medicare Advantage dental is not great. It's
Yeah.
smoke and mirrors and it doesn't work great. And it should never, even if it looks like good dental, it should never be considered the customer's primary dental plan ever, because things shift around too much in Medicare Advantage and you need time to build up to a full benefit on a dental plan. Anything you get on a Medicare Advantage plan should be considered gravy and not guaranteed in the next year. And so to sell, agents need to start asking questions, and they need to bring things up in the beginning, and they need to help clients see and identify what are those gaps, because the clients don't know.
Right.
They don't know what they don't know. But
Hmm.
it's our job to show them so that they don't get hit in the face with that fastball that they were not prepared for.
Yeah. And I feel like it's not only just Medicare clients, it's the ACA market too, with the hospital indemnity and cancer products, right?
ACA market is almost more so, but
Yeah.
it's more obvious too.
Yeah.
When you buy a Medicare Advantage plan that almost everything has a copay and you've got a maximum out of pocket, you feel pretty well protected. But
Yeah.
how many clients don't actually know that dental's not covered on Medicare and that vision's not covered on Medicare? And that if you end up with cancer, you're probably going to hit 1 to 2 max out of pockets, if not more. Very few probably really understand that if their agent hasn't really shown them. And I don't mean tell them, I mean show them.
Hmm.
Versus on ACA, you might have a $10,000 deductible and you're sitting there going, well, I have insurance in case I have a heart attack, but I am not going to go see a doctor if I get the sniffles. And if I get the flu, I'm going to tough it out and hopefully I don't die. Um, and so it's a little bit more obvious to these folks that there are gaps in their care that they need to be able to solve for.
Hmm.
Um, and there's a lot of solutions out there, a lot of potential solutions out there that help people.
Yeah. Tell me about some of them. And specifically at NCD, like what are you guys focused on? What do you have to offer to these agents to
So
potentially help these clients?
NCD's flagship product is dental insurance. All right, that's our roots. That's where we started. But we sell dental insurance, vision insurance, and accident medical expense insurance. And soon we have other stuff coming too. But dental is a fairly obvious one, and we can get into dental here in a little bit and talk about why it's so important. All right, because people don't truly value it. Agents don't truly value it at the level it should be valued. But I
Yeah.
want to talk specifically about those ACA clients and one of the big giant gaps that they have that we can solve, and that's
Yeah.
accidents. All right,
Hmm.
two major things that are going to cost you a ton of money in an ACA policy if you have that massive deductible are accidents and illness. All right, illness. Well, there's cancer policies for that. There's critical illness policies for that, and those should absolutely be looked at. Accident is one that a lot of people they don't think about, and those can be very expensive very fast. It's Christmas time and you are putting up Christmas lights on the house and you fall off a ladder and you break a leg. All right, you're $5,000 to $6,000 out of pocket right there if you haven't hit your deductible. That's crazy. You have health insurance and you're going to end up 5 to 6 grand. And how many of these clients just have $5,000 to $6,000 sitting around? Well, NCD in September launched our accident medical expense product, which is really cool. When most agents think about an accident product, they think a scheduled benefit. They think, oh, well, if I break a toe, I'm going to get $50, and if I break an arm, I'm going to get $500. And is that really worth it? NCD likes simplicity. We like low friction. We like things that work as advertised, and we like things that actually provide value to people. And so we built an accident medical expense product. It's only for people under age 65. But the way that it works is you've got an option of a $5,000, a $7,500, a $10,000, or $15,000 policy. And that is your maximum per accident, not per year, per accident. It's one thing that makes us unique. There's no deductible and it's primary coverage. And what that means, that's a very specific term. Always we recommend people have health insurance. We're not saying people buy this in lieu of health insurance. But primary coverage means I don't really care what your health insurance pays. It means if you go to that doctor because you fell off that ladder and it was, say, a $5,000 bill, let's just say you have a $10,000 policy, there's a $5,000 bill, but you've got amazing health insurance, you've already hit your deductible. 10%, out of pocket on that $5,000. You're only paying $500 out of your own pocket. I'm still going to write you a check for $5,000.
Ow.
We're going to take the UCR or the negotiated rate from your health insurance, whichever is the lesser amount. All right. And we're going to pay you what that hospital charged, regardless of what your health insurance paid. And so it doesn't matter that your health insurance paid and you're pocketing that cash. Maybe you need that because you were out of work for a few days, or you need that because somebody had to watch Fluffy while you were in the hospital. Or you need that because, you know what, there's also going to be additional expenses of physical therapy that you need to deal with, or you got to go buy a walker, or, it's going to be really hard for you to drive for a month. Well, your leg is in that cast, and so your spouse has to take time off work to drive you around, or you got to call an Uber to get you places. There are other expenses that come with being sick or injured that aren't covered by health insurance. And so the way that we account for that is we say, what was that cost out of your pocket? And we will pay per accident up to that limit. And I truly mean per accident. There are not a number of limits on the accident for the year. And so if you, you fall off, you break that leg, you get all fixed up, and the next week you are walking outside to go get in that Uber that you just ordered, and you slip on the stairs because there's ice and you break your wrist, you go back to the hospital, we're going to write you another check.
Wow.
So it's a plan that is, and there's no deductible. It's a plan that works very simply, and it takes care of the client. All right. And it helps to cover those large, unexpected out-of-pocket expenses that normally you'd be stuck with on your deductible. So
That's
it's
pretty awesome. Yeah.
And you know what?
You want to buy one.
It's affordable as heck too.
Yeah.
All right. It is not an expensive policy. You can buy it for yourself. You can buy it for the whole family. It's not expensive. Everyone should have an accident policy.
Yeah. That's really awesome. I love that. And I feel like you just gave a great example of how an agent can sell that to a client.
100%.
Yeah.
So, hey, you've got a $5,000 or you've got a $10,000 deductible. If you were to fall down today and break your leg, how would you cover that? Because you're going to end up with $5,000 out of pocket.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. And yeah, dental. Let's talk about dental because I feel like I work in admin mostly during AEP and stuff, and the dental is the biggest thing for some of these seniors.
Deft Research is like the premier research organization in the Medicare Advantage space that every year goes out and talks to seniors, and they, carriers will contract them to go get a ton of information to do focus groups and learn what the market wants, either in a specific submarket or nationally. And the number one benefit that comes back every single year that seniors want is dental insurance, because dental ain't cheap. No. All right. It's very expensive. And a crown is like $1,200 to $1,400 just for a crown. And that's with insurance.
Yeah.
All right. Without insurance, they bill even higher because the rates just go up and up. I actually read a report that somebody put out recently that said that dental cost inflation is going up far faster than medical cost inflation.
I believe that for sure.
And a lot of the reason for that is there's just not as much medical management in the dental space. It's like if a dentist says you need it, you get it. And there's a lot of, we'll call it fraud, waste, and abuse, a lot of over-prescribing in the dental space. Mm-hmm. So dental is not just wanted and desired by clients, but dental is needed. Oral health care is part of your physical health care. Mm-hmm. All right. There's a direct correlation between the plaque on your teeth and your cardiac health.
Yep.
There's a condition called myocarditis, which I believe is a swelling in the cardiac liner. All right. Which is caused by the bacteria, most of the time caused by the bacteria in your mouth getting in your bloodstream. And so if you have tooth decay, that means there's a whole bunch of little bugs eating your teeth. All right. And all that bacteria in your mouth. And you've got that tooth decay, it's not hard for that to get into your bloodstream because the mucus barrier inside your mouth, the mucous membranes inside your mouth are so thin and allow for absorption of these things intentionally.
Yeah.
All right. That if it's in your mouth, it's getting into your blood.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have diabetes, if you have autoimmune issues, if you have HIV or AIDS, if you've got any of these, oftentimes made far worse due to poor oral health care. And there's a lot of people with poor oral health in this country because they're afraid of the dentist. That's actually the number one reason we found that people don't buy dental insurance is they're afraid of the dentist. But so dental insurance is important and it's expensive.
Yeah.
And so getting access to both cover the care, but also to afford that care and see a quality dentist is more and more challenging. And so people oftentimes, when I say people, I mean agents, oftentimes look at dental insurance and they say a few things. I don't sell it because I don't really make any money on it. And that's true. It's a lower premium product that a lot of carriers pay you a halfway decent sum in year one and then peanuts in year 2+, or nothing after year 3.
Yeah.
NCD solved that by paying level for life commissions. Our most
Wow.
popular plan is going to pay a street agent about $175 every year. That's 40% of what you make on a Medicare Advantage plan. All
Yeah.
right. So if you sold every client in your book that plan, you just give yourself a 40% annual raise. I'd like that.
Yeah. That's
Um,
huge.
right. Number two, that people say is, I'm just going to go sell the cheapest plan out there. Clients aren't going to buy more than a $2,000 dental plan, which is about $50 a month. They're not going to spend that. That's a self-imposed limitation. The bottom line is that yes, will absolutely spend more if the value is there. And if you show them that value, it's lazy to go in and just be like, they're not going to spend more than $50 and they don't need it. You buy a $2,000 dental plan, you're likely running out of coverage before the end of the year as a senior. Most seniors need more than $5,000 worth of coverage per year. NCD has everything from as low as $750 a month up to $10,000 a year. Excuse me, $750 a year up to $10,000 a year in annual limits. And we put all sorts of bells and whistles in the product. 3 cleanings per year. They're association-based products. And so with that association membership, you're getting unlimited copay-free telemedicine. You're getting hearing aid benefits. You're getting nurse lines. You're getting roadside assistance. You're getting tons and tons of stuff
Yeah.
on top of a phenomenal dental plan that works as advertised. Next thing people say is, well, I don't believe in dental insurance. It's just trading dollars. If I just have the client put their $50, $60, $70 a month in a bank account and save that, they'll be just fine and they can pay for their stuff. Well, number one, there's a few things wrong with that. Nobody ever does. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, just put $50 a month in a bank account. You'll be fine. No, they don't. They go and spend that. All right. It's easy to blow. Why wouldn't you do the same thing with health insurance if that were really what your belief was?
Mm-hmm.
Number two is people think it's trading dollars. And I can see that in some cases if you don't understand how dental insurance truly works. And that leads us to the next thing, and that's, oh, well, the dentist doesn't take it, or my dentist doesn't take this. The networks are too small. We have a huge network. All right, number one, over 500,000 dentists in our network. But the thing that leads to both of these that's really the most important is the network discounts. All right.
Okay.
Agents, this is the number one secret in dental insurance. Agents don't understand the network discount and why it matters. So let me see if I can make it easy.
Yeah, because I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So assuming most of your agents are familiar with Medicare, all right. If you say to a client, hey, your outpatient surgery is going to cost you 20%. The next question out of that client's mouth is always the same. 20% of what? Or the agent cuts it off, heads it off the pass and says, but don't worry, that's not 20% of the billed amount. That's 20% of the Medicare approved amount. All right. Which is a much lower amount than the billed amount. That's a network discount.
Okay.
And so if you go to a dentist and you don't have insurance and they say, all right, you need a crown, it's going to be $1,500 for said crown. Whew, that's a lot. Are you paying your 50% major services coverage or your 40% if you're on year 3 of the NCD policy? Are you paying that on $1,500? Not if you're in network with the NCD MetLife network. All right, we average 35 to 50% off in our network discount.
Wow.
So what that means is I'm going to do 50% just for easy math.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have a $1,500 billed amount on that crown might actually only be $750 of allowed charges. That's 50% off. All right.
Okay.
And then you pay your 40%. All right. Meaning the company's paying 60% for you. You pay your 40% of that $750, which is $300. All right. So on what was a $1,500 claim, you're now only paying $300 on it. Now, not all networks are created equal. Number one, if you go outside the network or you don't have health insurance, it's going to cost a lot more because the dentist can charge what they want. And if you're outside of a network, the company is going to pay like it was inside the network. And then you are going to get balance billed that remaining amount. If you're uninsured, you're just going to pay the whole thing.
Right.
What's funny is dentists will be like, you don't need insurance. I'll give you a 10% cash pay discount. I'd rather still have the insurance plus the network discount. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because math. But not all networks are the same. So there's a number of networks out there that average 20 to 30% off. There's one huge network out there that I don't disparage any carriers, so I'm not going to say any carrier names, but I guarantee you every agent has talked about this particular dental plan. And one of their networks, which is their big network, averages 2 to 3%, which means you're basically paying street prices. And so it's more than just looking at it and saying, well, what's the lowest premium? Or what's the, all these plans look the same. They're 100% preventive coverage. They're 80% basic coverage. They're 50% major coverage. So they're all the same. Just spreadsheet shop and shop based on premium. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Really understanding how these dental benefits work is how you know which product you should be representing and how you should be selling.
Yeah.
So NCD has one of the best network discounts in the business with the MetLife network, which is also one of the larger networks that's out there. Claims are paid in most claims are paid in under 24 hours because MetLife is the largest payer of dental claims in the world. NCD's service on both agents and consumers is number one in the business. Go check out our reviews, type in NCD Dental and look at the Google reviews there and start reading those stories. Those are all real. We don't use software. We don't pay for reviews. Our employees are not allowed to review. And then we build benefits that work as advertised. There's not gotchas in there. We don't try to hide limits, somewhere in the plan. We build everything very transparent and we build plans that work as advertised because we want people to stay around a long time. And then we pay agents very well to sell it. And so we're here to help you, not just here's a product, but we'll also teach you how to sell it. And it's really easy. It adds 5 minutes to your total sale. It's that simple.
Yeah. So agents should definitely be looking into this because
sure.
I mean,
and you know what? And they can get contracted by calling AEG if they want to, Agent Equity Group, and request a contract with AEG for NCD. It's a super simple process. There's not an annual certification. It takes all of 5 minutes to get contracted. Super easy.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. And then I also want to talk about hospital indemnity because my mom's an agent. She loves hospital indemnity. She loves talking about those plans. But I feel like it's not something that an agent typically brings up in like a Medicare meeting or something like that. And, during AEP, everyone's so busy. And it's like, well, just like what you just said, I mean, it adds 5 minutes to the conversation for dental. How would you work in like a hospital indemnity in a meeting with a client?
So any ancillary product, all right, the way that you work that in is by setting expectations up front. So first off, I like assumptive sales. So with like dental, it's as simple as, okay, we've gotten your Medicare Advantage plan taken care of. Let's get your dental taken care of now. Who's your dentist? Mm-hmm. And if you haven't already gotten their dentist ahead of time, which you probably should have, Retire Flow helps you with that. But if you haven't gotten their dentist ahead of time, then you can ask them right there, who's your dentist? You look them up in the network and they say, all right, I've got a great product for you. Here we go. And then you handle objections along the way. Don't say, do you want dental? Because the answer is always going to be no. Not because they don't want it, but because nobody wants to talk about insurance except for us nerds.
Yeah.
All right.
No, right.
And hospital indemnity is the same way. When you sit down with your client, you should basically say, look, we're going to talk about your overall picture. I'm not a Medicare salesperson. I am your trusted insurance advisor. My job is to help you to avoid the financial pitfalls of the world that you're facing in your healthcare scenario. Medicare Advantage is one of the things that we're going to talk about for you today. It probably fits you the best based on our prior conversations, but it's not one without holes. Every product has holes in it. And one of the biggest risks for you is hospital out of pocket. But don't worry, I've got a way to solve that for you. No problem at all. And so then when you get to that part of the discussion and you talk about hospital, remember I said this is one of the biggest holes, $450 a day for days 1 through 5, $500 a day, whatever the number is these days. Don't worry, we're going to talk about that at the end. And so you go through, you get them signed up on the Medicare Advantage plan, and then you shift over. All right, remember I talked about that $450 a day, probably not something you want to cover. I've got a plan that we can go ahead and put you on that covers those $450 a day for you. It's called a hospital indemnity plan. Here's how it works. Let's get you taken care of. All right.
Every agent should be writing that down.
It's really not hard. The two keys, or there's a few keys. One is set expectations up front. What your job is. Mm-hmm. All right. Don't get the signature on the Medicare Advantage plan and try to run out of the house because you think that if you bring something else up, they're going to tear it up. That's not how it works. Number 2 is assumptive close, always. All right. If you ask, do you want to talk about a hospital indemnity plan? Do you want to talk about a dental plan? No, we don't want to talk about insurance. It's boring. I'm tired, whatever it may be. This is part of the process. This is what we're going to cover. All right. And then if they say, I don't know if I want to talk, I'm not interested in that or whatever. Okay. Tell me more about that. Why not? Oh, well, I don't really want to spend any more money. Okay. So we can be talking about a plan that's $40 a month, $35 a month, whatever it is. All right. That will cover these things for you. Or are you prepared to pay $1,800 if you end up in the hospital? Are you ready for that? I think, it's just a matter of what's your risk tolerance. No, it's up to you, but this is my recommendation because this is where I've seen other clients have these same pitfalls that I've made sure that they're taken care of. All right. I have talked to clients many times about, so-and-so that I worked with one time ended up going to the hospital and on original Medicare, they thought they were only going to be $912 out of pocket. I'm dating myself. That was 2005. They thought they were going to be $912 out of pocket on their Medicare Part A. They had surgery. They didn't realize that their Part B coverage takes into effect with the surgery as well. And they were over $20,000 out of pocket. All right. Had they had this Medicare Advantage plan, this is what it would have cost them. Had they had this Medicare supplement plan, they would have been nothing out of pocket. This is my job to help you with these things.
Right. Yeah.
So, and if they say no, that's fine. Call them back in 3 months.
Yeah.
Call them back after AEP. If you don't get a chance to talk to them about these things during AEP, great. Pick up the phone in January. Hey, Mrs. Jones, call in to check in, see how you're doing. Make sure you got your ID cards. You did fantastic. Did you get your auto billing set up already with Humana? You did? Perfect. Great. Let's go ahead and get your dental taken care of now. We didn't get a chance to take care of that during Christmas time because it was crazy busy and you had to go out shopping. So remind me, who's your dentist again? Or you should already have that data. Are you still seeing Dr. Jones over on 3rd Street? You are? Great. I've got a phenomenal plan. Let's get you taken care of. This will take us 5 minutes. So it's a year-round opportunity to interact with your clients.
Yeah.
All right. And keep them remembering who you are. And the more products you have with them, the more sticky they are to you anyway. They're less likely to switch with an AOR change or buy something from somebody else because that other person offered it and you didn't, or buy something from somebody else because they haven't heard from their insurance agent here in October. This is your opportunity to really be that advisor and take care of your clients.
And imagine how good they're going to feel when they get that hospital indemnity check.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, that accident plan check. I mean,
yep.
Like then it is a trust builder for sure.
Yeah. Nobody likes paying a premium. All right. But when it pays off, they most certainly like it. All right. It's one of the reasons we like people to get in and get their cleanings as soon as they get on the plan. A couple of our plans offer 3 cleanings per year. And we do welcome calls when our members come on board. We welcome them to the plan, thank them for signing up, make sure that they have a dentist, see if they need help booking an appointment, answer any final questions for them. And we will try to book them with their dentist to get a cleaning because if they feel value in the plan quickly, they're more likely to stay on the plan.
Yeah.
By the way, since retention is important both to me as a carrier, but also to you as an agent, because we do level for life commissions, another secret is if you can get them to pay through EFT instead of through a credit card, those have higher retention rates.
I can see that.
More information to your clients so they understand what they signed up for rather than less, and sign them up with EFT, and they are more likely to stay on board than they are if they sign up with a credit card.
Okay. Any more secrets like that? Those are good.
I've got thousands of them from years in the business, but maybe those are for another time.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to get you back on when the NCD new products come out and we can chat about those next.
And you know what? It might be something that we were just talking about and we might be changing the game.
Ooh.
So we've got some really cool stuff coming that I'm very excited about.
That's awesome. I'm excited for you. I'm excited to see what comes. I feel like we touched on this a little bit, but what are agents with some other things that agents are just getting completely wrong when it comes to ancillary products?
I mean, the number one thing they're getting wrong is they're not selling. They're not asking the question. They're being one-trick ponies, and someone else is going to come in there and eat their lunch.
Yeah.
Just to quickly touch on that real fast because it's an important thing. Everyone right now is talking about cross-selling or, solution-based selling. They're talking about, necessary products in addition to things. And so if you are not doing this, other agents are going to talk to your clients and you are going to lose your current business. So not only are you going to struggle with non-commissionable plans and a revenue cut because of that, you are also going to struggle because you're going to have a shrinking book of business. You
Mm.
must decide to get into this.
Yeah.
And I would say just one of the things they're getting wrong, aside from not asking, is that it's hard or that they're going to be good at it from day one. I don't know about you, but most people, especially me, I am not good at anything on day one. It takes time. It takes practice. All these drones that are up here on the wall, first time I flew, I cut my finger off. The second time I flew, I did $200 of damage in the drone by crashing it at 65 miles an hour directly into the ground.
Oh
All
my
right.
gosh.
It's you're not good at things without practice. So don't think you're going to go into a client's house and you're going to be this amazing smooth salesperson on a dental plan on day one. You're going to trip over your words. You're going to feel stupid. Your client's never going to notice it. All right. But you are going to notice it and you're going to beat yourself up for it. Great. Think about what you did. Think about how you could do it a little bit differently and a little bit better and try it different the next time and keep going and ask questions. Pick up the phone and call your account executive at NCD. Here's how it went. How could I have done that differently? Here's where I struggled. How do I get this information? All right. And learn and get better. And after 5, 6, 7, 10 of these things, you're going to be doing great. And it's going to be second nature. You weren't good at selling Medicare and ACA when you first started either. All right. It's not easy. It's not natural. It's hard. That's okay. You're doing the right thing for your clients and you're making money doing it. That's what I love about this business.
Yeah.
Right. Every
Couldn't agree
single
more.
day we get to go out and we get to positively make a difference in people's lives and we get paid to do it. We get to help people and we get paid to do it. All right. We're not out there selling things that people don't want or that people hate. We're not ripping people off. We are taking care of grandma and grandpa, all right, and getting paid a healthy wage in order to take care of folks. So really do it. Do your job and take care of these people. Don't leave your clients hanging.
Yeah. It's a
So, but
special
yeah,
breed.
that's the thing. Is people think they're going to be good at it and they're not.
Yeah.
And it takes a little bit of time. Stick with it. I promise you. Ask questions. It's okay to fail. It is 100% okay to fail. It's not okay to fail and not learn something, though.
Totally. Okay, this has been awesome. And then I just want to touch with you on one more thing. AI. And I believe we talked about this in the last episode too, but has anything come up recently for you? Any new perspectives on AI in the industry? Anything like that? It's just everywhere. So I just wanted to ask you about that.
AI is everywhere and it's rapidly advancing in capability. There's a lot of different models out there. Try different ones. The number one warning I will give everybody is that, actually, two warnings. Number one, AI is not always right. All right, so check your work. But also with HIPAA, we work in a space where HIPAA is important. And HIPAA does not necessarily just mean their health information. It doesn't necessarily mean, oh, John Smith has diabetes and therefore I can't put that in there. It could be John Smith is on the Blue Cross plan. That is protected information. So don't put any PHI or PII into an AI, large language model, an LLM, unless you have specifically signed a business associate agreement with that vendor and they are showing that they're HIPAA compliant. Don't do it. It's a problem, and you may not get caught day one. You may not get caught 2 years in, but you're gonna get caught, or you're gonna damage your client. It's gonna be a problem. So it's okay to put generic information in. Don't put anything that ties somebody to a health plan, ties somebody, ties any identifiable information in any way into an LLM if it's not PHI or HIPAA compliant. Beyond that, as far as what have I seen that's this kind of, we'll call it new or whatever. I'll tell you, NCD gets approached every single day by a vendor trying to sell us some cool new AI tool.
Yeah.
And we are very pro AI. All right. We are actively trying to have more of our employees use AI, not because we're trying to replace them, but because we're trying to empower them. And it's the future. It is what the internet was back in 1995.
Totally.
Right. But we get hit up every single day. We can put AI in your call center. We can make you more efficient. You can have, 10 people in your call center instead of 50 answering phone calls and doing sentiment analysis and everything else. And what we have decided is that AI, while it's very cool, has no business replacing the human element. One of the most important things in this business, and it's part of NCD's secret sauce, which I'm going to go ahead and share with everybody, is that human interaction, is taking care of people and having that real conversation. All right. Nobody is going to understand that person calling in like a real person. And that real person is going to have a very different experience if they're talking to a real person versus what they will find as an AI. As real as it may sound, they'll know as an AI bot.
Yeah.
We specifically have said, while every call center on the planet wants to lower their call handle times, because lower times means you can do the same job with fewer people, or you can do a bigger job with the same number of people, and it's more efficient. We are trying to increase our call handle times. We are trying to ensure that there is better conversation happening with the members. We might be the only adult that person speaks to all day long.
Yeah.
Right? It might be an 80-year-old woman sitting in her home, and we're the only real person she talks to all day long.
Mm-hmm.
That person may not feel like they have anyone that cares about them in the world. Their insurance company cares about them.
Yeah.
So we're going to ask about those grandkids. We're going to ask about the dog barking in the background. We've got notes. So we're going to ask about, the garden that they were growing and how things are going. And we're going to ensure that they walk away from that phone call with a smile. Yeah. We are spreading the smile after all. But the reason for this, aside from it's the right thing to do, is it creates, from a business perspective, it creates better retention. It creates people that stick around longer. And that's good for me. And that's good for the agent because we pay level for life commissions. We're sharing in this benefit. And it's good for the client too. Continuity of care and long-term relationships on a solid plan is very important. So we want you guys to look like heroes when you sign up a client on a plan, and that goes really well.
Yeah.
The last thing you need is for you to recommend a carrier, and then that client goes and has a terrible experience with that carrier, and then you look like you don't care about your client. And a lot of agents have not sold Ancillary for that reason. They've decided that Ancillary is not regulated like Medicare, so therefore the customer service experience doesn't have to be strong. I called another dental plan and sat on hold for 12 and a half minutes trying to talk to their customer service department. All right, that's unacceptable. Or they don't care when you talk to them, or it's somebody in another country that, well, that's not a bad thing. Sometimes you can't understand them, or they don't understand you, and it creates problems. We are very intentional about solving for all of that so that your client has an amazing experience and the agent looks great and everybody gets paid for a very long time and the client is happy at the end of the day. It's very important to us.
Yeah. And I feel like that's the industry. I mean, you got to care about people.
Yeah. And it's surprising how many don't.
Yeah.
It's somehow the phenomenal level of service, the world-class member experience that we strive for every day. And we're not there. We like to stay with it we are, but we're not there. We will never be there. All right. We are always going to try to do better. Somehow that is not the standard. It's cheaper and faster and more efficient. And okay, we can afford to lose a couple people. No, it's important to take care of people.
Totally. Well, this has been really awesome. I feel like I've learned a lot, and I know that agents are going to love this episode. And as you know, we have our closing question here. So before we wrap up, and maybe we can just tie it into what we've been talking about. I feel like you just answered it, but if an agent listening to this episode only took one piece of advice from your experience in this industry, what would it be?
Lead with your heart. All right. Take care of your clients first and foremost. If you focus on the dollar, money will come. All right. But it'll be short-lived. If you focus on the client, all right, money is a side effect of that. And you will sleep better. You will have a better reputation. Your business will grow beyond your wildest dreams. And at the end of the day, you are doing the best work possible to make a positive difference in the lives of people on a daily basis.
Perfect. Beautiful. I love it. This has been awesome. Can people connect with you or something like that? Or how can people get in touch with you or NCD? How can they get involved?
Yeah. So you can go to ncd.com and check us out. You can email info@ncd.com and request information if you want to. I can be found on LinkedIn if you're looking for me specifically, Jameson Keller, JamesonKeller. But we're around. We are everywhere. So if you can't find NCD, you're closing your eyes. But we would love to partner with you and your agents to take care of people.
Yeah, I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jameson, for your time. And we'll have to have you back again.
I would love to come back. This is so much fun.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
Yana, thank you.
Yeah.